today. It's Texas Tech and TCU. And now, K-Max Stan Smith and Mason Horodisky break down the game before the game. This is K-Max Red Raider Nation's Countdown to Kickoff.
Welcome, welcome, welcome into Red Raider Nation's Countdown to Kickoff. Stan Smith here. Mason Horodisky will be joining us from outside Ammon G. Carter Stadium. David Collier is standing by. It's the game that Tech fans have had circled on their calendars since the summer as they travel down to Fort Worth to take on the TCU. Horned Frogs coming up. Those Horned Frogs are unbeaten to start November. Who would have thought? We break down what you need to know about Sonny Dykes and company. Plus, like I said, Mason Horodisky made his trek to Fort Worth. He gives us storylines from outside Hell's Half Acre. Also ahead, the elder statesman of this program joins us from Red Raider Nation Studios, David Collier, for his breakdown of this game. Well, Texas Tech's game last week had all the fanfare you could ask for. Patrick Mahomes is in the house. Joey McGuire's going up against his old team. A packed house at the Jones, but outside of that, it was pretty much downhill for the Red Raiders. Texas Tech fell behind by a couple of scores early in the first half, and while they did claw their way back to make it a 7-point game, the Bears scored 3 unanswered touchdowns in the fourth quarter to come away with a 45-17 win. Turnovers broke the back of those Red Raiders as 3 Tech quarterbacks combined for 5 interceptions, including 1 pick 6 from Tyler Shuck, coming back from his injury that kept him out since week 1. But with all that being said, the Red Raiders can't feel sorry for themselves as Texas Tech will be taking on the number 7 and unbeaten TCU Horned Frogs. And you may remember, this is a matchup that has come with a lot of chirping since the end of the summer. Now, like I said, you may remember a TCU assistant coach set off a Twitter storm calling Lubbock a desert in response to all the Tech players receiving 5-figure NIL deals, and Red Raider fans basically commandeering the cactus emoji following that exchange. Not only that, the TCU athletic department stopped selling single-game tickets to this game in specific in response to the hordes of Red Raider fans buying seats well in advance. But now toe is set to meet leather, and to give credit where credit's due, TCU is right in the thick of the college football playoff race with a potential Heisman Trophy candidate in Max Duggan leading the offense under center.
Another top 10 opponent on the road. Sonny Dykes is a good friend of mine. I've known him forever. You know, West Texas' own. Dad was a legend here at Texas Tech, and, you know, I know Sonny's, you know, proud, you know, to be from out here and big fan of Sonny Dykes. It's going to be a great game. It's always fun to play good friends. You know, I probably know this staff as well as, you know, as anybody as far as, like, a length of time. I mean, of course, I knew the last staff. There's a saddle on the line. I didn't know that, but Zane reminded me that, so fired up about that. See, we can't get that and get Kenny Perry on the saddle if we can bring that back to Lubbock.
From outside the confines of the Carter for the first time today, it's Red Raider Nation's Mason Horodisky to tell us more.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Fort Worth as Texas Tech gets ready to clash with TCU. This might be the only game of the season where the opposing head coach has just as many West Texas connections as the current Texas Tech head coach does. Sonny Dykes. It's a last name that holds a lot of weight around West Texas. Of course, he's the son of legendary former TTU head coach Spike Dykes and a Red Raider in and of himself, playing both football and baseball at the school. Now, as he gears up to take on a program that holds near and dear to his heart, Joey McGuire believes that the first-year head coach has been able to hit the ground running like he has, not because he's in his first year, but because the guys he has are far from it.
I'll never forget Matt Rule, my very first year, said we're going to beat people up year 3 because we're going to be old. You know, college football has changed a little bit different. It's a little bit different because you can become old through the portal and different things like that. I mean, that's really not who we want to be. We want to grow our guys up. But right now, you know, TCU's a really seasoned team. And I definitely think with his temperament and who he is, Coach Dykes is a really good fit for TCU.
Coming up later on in the show, we'll take a look at some of the weapons that Coach Dykes has coming into today's game.
Hear from Mason again later, but now we better call Collier. David standing right here next to me. Now, TCU with plenty of weapons on offense and a whole lot of experience. Max Duggan, Quentin Johnson. We'll hear probably from a lot of other ones, but blank will be the one that Tech fans should be the most concerned about.
Well, Sam, I'm going to go with Kendre Miller, a name that we heard way too much at Jones AT&T AT&T Stadium a year ago here in Lubbock. TCU's running back, 185 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dude averaged more than 15 yards a carry against the Red Raider defense. Had a 75-yard score. The Horned Frog rushing attack, nearly 400 total yards on the ground in that game. I know Sonny Dykes wasn't there, right? This team's still second in the Big 12 Conference this year, though, under Dykes, averaging more than 200 yards a game on the ground. Kendra Miller could be a problem once again for that Red Raider defense.
And Sonny Dykes, it's like he knows what he's doing.
I know, right?
Staying in Dallas, going over to Fort Worth now. That's just a cool storyline heading into this one, also against his dad's former team.
All right, and former assistant, former baseball player, trying to get a win against his alma mater.
All the storylines here. Well, it's time to take a break on Countdown to Kickoff, but coming up, we'll take a peek from behind enemy lines. Colin Post, who covers TCU for 24/7, will be joining us to break down the Frogs, and then later Mason will return to give us another update from Fort Worth, so stick around.